Well, we attack them by voting them out of office. But what is more concerning, and we talked about this at length, is how you take the guns out of the hand of haters. So Ramaswamy is talking. You can vote against him. But what about those that have these AR-15s writing swastika on them and that are writing manifestos against blacks? That's what we talk to the White House about. And I think all of us support Ayanna Pressley to act like she is in any way like the KKK who hung and killed us, and not address the lynching that happened in Jacksonville. Ramaswamy needs to find out what KKK were. They were not members of Congress. They were people with hoods on and lynching people. And
we do have to recognize people like Vivek, man, again, telling Presley that, she's the new, voice of the KKK, the new grand wizard or whatever he said. Again, we truly have to recognize what he's saying. We do have to recognize that Democrats have been telling black people, brown people, who to vote for years. Again, we truly have to recognize back when they were the KKK. Again, Democrats, not Republicans, but Democrats, they were telling black and brown people who to vote for, how to think. And again, they still are many years later. When it comes to actually things that actually matter, you don't care. And now again, what happened down in Florida was horrible. It was horrific. We have truly got to be honest about that. Again, somebody has so much hatred in their heart that they kill people based on the color of their skin. That's horrific. But here's the thing, Al. We truly have to recognize one thing. There's all kinds of crime that's happening in D.C., in Chicago, in New York, L.A., Oakland, San Francisco. We truly have to be honest. And again, double-digit increases in, like D.C., Chicago. Chicago had a 33% increase in crime over the last year. We truly get to be honest. I mean, again, in D.C., they're calling in the National Guard. But again, you don't care. You truly don't care. You don't care that the vast majority of black people are killed by other black folks. You don't care. That is a real big problem. Again, the rapes, the robberies, you don't care. And also, you don't care that you're much more likely, several times more likely, to be assaulted by a black person if you're white than by a white person if you're black. We truly have to be honest about that. But again, you have selective outrage. Because again, the things that actually matter, you don't care about. You don't care about. Because again, you don't care about helping. You don't care about addressing things that are actually happening. You don't. You care about the attention that you can get from something. It's all about you. How can you benefit? What kind of attention can you get from speaking on something, from fanning the flames of racial division in this country?
I do want to address the attack on black women in this moment and the context of what you're sharing. I think one of the things that we find is that when there's progress, there's always attacks. When there's progress and there are attacks, that means we're getting closer to the answer. And the answer is, how do we continue to create political power for those that have been marginalized for centuries?
Look, I would just say, a few things. So number one, white nationalism is a global threat, and it is the single most consequential, dangerous, explosive threat to the homeland right now. Congresswoman Pressley, look, I might not agree with her on every policy. We all probably don't agree with each other on every policy. But to slander her as KKK is deplorable. It is really toxic and terrible. And I would hope that the candidate would walk that back. Because, again, the KKK murdered people, killed them, tore them out of their homes, and hung them from trees, burned crosses in their lawns. They killed Schwerner, Cheney, and Goodman, and so many more. So to compare the congressman to that is just...
Guys, we gotta truly be honest. What is the biggest threat to national security in this country. White nationalism? I don't think so. Again, man, I understand the FBI says it is. But we truly have to look at the numbers. Again, the surging out of control crime, the mostly black on black crime in these liberal cities. That is what the true issue is. We have got to be honest about that. Again, man, you are several times more likely to be attacked by a black person if you're white than by a white person if you're black. We have truly got to be honest about that. Again, it was almost 9.5 times back in 2018. But again, we have to truly be honest about what is happening. Again, they want you to believe the white nationalism is the issue. And again, we truly have to be honest, man. If people hate people based on the color of their skin, it's abhorrent. And man, what happened in Florida? It was horrible. It truly was. But again, man, we have got to truly be honest. It's much more likely the other way around.
You want the light? You get the heat. That's the instant analysis on businessman turned Trump acolyte Vivek Ramaswamy. I'm not surprised he did well in terms of most outward optics after the debate. And I'm not surprised he's getting the attention. The media is aware of him, and that means it will be time to go after him. And to this point, he's making it too easy to play gotcha with him. This is not college debate, okay? It's hard to learn at this level. The lessons come painfully. You don't compare black members of Congress to members of the KKK.
Man, you're so upset because, if Vivek Ramaswamy dared to say the truth, again, Ben, that what she was saying, what Presley was saying, was basically the equivalent of the new Grand Wizard, which it is. We truly have to understand, again, black voices, brown voices were silenced years ago by the Democratic Party. They still are nowadays, man. But we truly have to understand they were years ago. By who? By the KKK. And what he's saying is, she's the new voice of that. She is telling you that if you have a different view, a different opinion, a different idea than what we tell you to have, then guess what? You ain't black. We don't need your black voice. We don't need your brown voice. We don't want to hear from you. So again, if you don't agree with us, go sit down in the back. We don't want to hear from you. But again, it's totally okay for everyone to call people like Donald Trump Nazis. That's totally okay. Man, again, we don't bat an eye over that stuff. But again, man, everybody and their mama gets so mad about what Vivek said. We have truly got to understand that there's a huge double standard in this country.
Get it? You wouldn't, I wouldn't, and he knows better. So why does he do it? Now that's the intriguing question. And he's going to have to answer for it, especially because he has really changed his tune about Trump and Trumpy things in just the past year. So why? Why such a shift? Because he's smart and he sees opportunity. And history suggests a path, but I would say it doesn't lead to a good place. Ramaswamy is the latest man on the Republican side with brown skin to say things that white extremists like to hear, but can't openly say, but really like to hear from people who are not white. You remember Ben Carson? You remember Herm Cain? Now, Carson was like a real contender for a hot minute, right? Saying all these extraordinary things, people didn't know how to make sense of it, given his genius. But it doesn't play out that well, does it?
The reason why people like Vivek Ramaswamy and Ben Carson were popular and are popular is because, again, they are willing to say the truth. Again, what he's saying, what Vivek is saying about Presley, again, it's true. Again, she is basically saying that, hey, look, if you're a black or brown person and you disagree with us, if you disagree with the establishment, the Democrat establishment, then guess what? Sit down. Be quiet. We don't want to hear from you. What did the Democrat Party, the KKK, say to black or brown people years ago? Again, if you differ from us, if you look at things differently, guess what? We don't want to hear from you. Sit down. Be quiet. So again, that's all he's saying. That's all he's saying. And again, he is right. We have truly got to understand that. People like Dr. Ben Carson, they're right. And again, we have to understand that's the reason why Donald Trump is popular. And he's white. Because again, he is willing to say things that are true, even though they're controversial. And that's really what's going on now. But again, people standing up to truth, speaking truth to power. And again, man, that causes people, especially white people, to be labeled as Nazis, as Hitler, as whatever. And again, man, over and over again, they say that kind of stuff. And it's okay if they're white. We have truly got to recognize that. But again, the thing is that people that are willing to state the truth, they're always going to be popular. They're always going to have a place. They're always going to be brave. That is bravery. Again, saying something that you know to be true, but also understand it's very unpopular. But hey guys, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.
You son of a.